Eurozone refers to the bloc of the country that use a common currency called euro, and it consists of the 19 out of 28 members of the European Union. During the late 2009, the Eurozone debt crisis had exploded within the European Union, and it became worse in the early 2012. The crisis originally came from the individuals and private companies of some countries extremely borrowed the money from the banks, yet they could not pay it back and needed a bailout from the governments. Unfortunately, because of the big amount of the debts as well as the problems of fiscal policy that involved with taxation and interest rate had made the governments of the overly indebted country could not afford to refinance the debt. So it led to the Eurozone debt crisis in the EU. Among of all these indebted countries, Greece is the one that greatly involved in this crisis. And now we will explain what the reason behind the debt and what mechanism that EU used to deal with this crisis.
The Greek crisis caused by both internal factor and external factor. The internal factor is within the Greek itself, and the external factor is from the outside influence.
The internal factor is within the country itself that Greece increased its public expenditure, which led to the increasing in borrowing requirement and the increasing in public debt. On the other hand, the external factor of the crisis caused by the belief of EU members that the bailouts are illegal and it is against the European Central Bank's policy. The other cause is the lack of funds from the EU members to the Greek, although they use the same currencies among the European members, but the economic policies of countries in EU is still belong to the individual country, not the state level.
European Commission, European Central Bank, IMF, come together to deal with this issue.
European Central Bank plays a very important role in the crisis response. It provided unlimited liquidity support to the banks in the European Union with low interest rate and cheap loans. The European Financial Stability Facility was created to make sure that those who struggle from a euro crisis have financial stability through financial assistances. This institution offers bonds, restructures the banks, or buys sovereign debts of EU's member states. The European Stability Mechanism, which had 500 billion euros in fund, was created to provide loans to the government that has financial difficulties. One of the major contributors of this fund, Germany, proposed a fiscal compact that ensured that all the struggling government budget will not be deficit again. This includes the austerity measure, which means that the government must cut their spending, borrow less, and pay the debt more.
The Center for European Reform mentioned two types of consequences, with the first one being the strategic consequences, and the second one is the political consequences.
The ongoing euro crisis at the time has worsened the already fraught relation between Germany and France. The leader of the two countries seem to have a clash of personalities and economic philosophy. As mentioned before, Germany has pushed for stricter rules on budget deficits and a more severe enforcement mechanism for those who disrespect the agreement. The French, on the other hand, has emphasized on the need for a more cooperative method involving more of a discussion. Second, the Greek crisis has highlighted the growing isolation of Germany within the EU, and Germany was criticized for not doing more to help the Southern Europes. Another type of consequences that is inseparable from this crisis is the political consequences, which consists of the shift toward the union in which the government are in the driving seats, and the fact that large countries matter more than small countries, and many more. Even after all the crises that have happened in the past year, the responses from the EU crisis is still proven to be quite an effective response. As we have seen till today, the euro still stands strong as one of the most valuable currency in the world.